my name is Hietanen. You can blame me for the concept of mobility as a service. It is something that's stuck with me for a long time, and every now and then you're either the village idiot or you're the guy behind a beautiful movement. But let's go down to what it's all about. When you think about mobility as a service, or when you actually think about what we're facing today, we're talking about a digital disruption in mobility. And many people say that, the changes in our line of business is not that big. We shouldn't be thinking. But I think it's a bit naive. If you think of banking, if you think of media, if you think of anything out there, they've all been disrupted. And then it tends to be about quite simple things. Answers sometimes and solutions can be easy. Sometimes it's hard to dare to ask the difficult question. And with my permission, you're allowed all to close your eyes and just think about yourself now. And I will ask you a question that hopefully within 10 minutes you will be able to answer nicely. And you say that Sampo has something that is better than my own car, and you're willing to give me all your money for it. So just imagine, what would I have to promise here today for you so that you would give up your car and you would feel the same freedom, you would feel the same idea and the same sense of individuality and freedom as you do right now. Feel free to think about that throughout the whole session. For us at the company that I founded, we have a simple task. We want to definitely replace at least 1 million cars off the roads in the world with something better. About the mobility as a service, it seems to be that it's now on the lips of everyone. Started as a movement, started as a thing, and all of a sudden we can be here in Mexico speaking about it, which kind of gives me hope in these sometimes dark days that there's some good in the world. Because trust me when I say there has not been an evil conspiracy or any kind of huge lobbying. It is just people getting excited about the whole idea that could it actually work this way? Now, let us dream a bit. What if instead of your car, I would say that I promise, I'm a bit like your mobile operator, taking care of all your phone calls, taking care of everything. And I promise I will get you there. I will get you anywhere you want, anytime you want, and just on a whim like that. What if you were able to actually buy packages that says not that you have a bit of ride hailing, a bit of this, but instead of that, I say within 15 minutes, you're always underway. You're never delayed more than 15 minutes, and it only will cost you this much. Or we even go further. We'll say that, okay, the 90 minutes people spend normally in transportation, forget about that. We will fix all that, but actually we will entertain you during those 90 minutes. We will do all of this. Is that far? Actually, it's not. The components are there. Something that we have been building. What you need first is you need an application to combine it all in a simple, convenient way. Let's remember, again, the competition is out there, and the competition is really smart. Nowadays, it's not even a key. You just push a button or even less, and you are driving. And we have to be just as easy as that. Combining everything, putting it into subscriptions that are a bit like your Netflix subscriptions of everything out there. Every door will open to you. Someone said it that it's a bit like a skeleton key to your city or to your world. Of course, assisting you along the way, making sure you don't worry about tariffs, payments, or anything like that. You're already paid up for it. And would that do it? I'll tell you an example of some young ones that were just about to think about buying a car. And when I was asking about them, so what would I have to promise if I give you your city, everything open? And they said, yeah, that could be it. And then I said, what about the whole country? What if I gave you everything that you can ever think of, all the Ubers that you can think of, all the trains and all the car clubs, car rentals, every bike and everything you can ever think of in the whole Mexico? And then I said, okay, how about something bigger than the car? What if with just one simple monthly payment, you would be able to open not just everything in Mexico, but like with the mobile phone, it functions just as well in New York City, Singapore, Tokyo, everywhere. So whilst car has been a dream that has dominated the mobility sector and actually our urban development for about 100 years now, we need a bigger dream. We need a better dream, something that's also more sustainable. What if I were able to say that, hey, the whole world is open. every ride hail, every taxi, every metro, every car share, every car rental, bike, everywhere in the world, all yours to use. Would that make you be in the same level, or would that make you give up your car? Now, does it have any meaning? I actually stole this line from the former CEO of Nokia, a Finnish-based company, who saw within just a couple of minutes that exactly this will happen. If you compare what is happening now in mobility or transportation, you need to think about what happened from the 80s to this date in telecom sector, and something similar is ongoing here. He said that you guys have no idea that what kind of a tsunami is hitting the whole transportation as we speak. There's a bit of a difference with the analogy of telecom, and that is people spend around 20% of their household income in mobility. The size of this disruption is about 10 times as big as the whole telecom disruption has been. 76% of the share of wallet now is lying on that car, that asset of car that is utilized about 4% of the time. So I'm claiming that this is the biggest question for the next decades for economic growth, because for that you need some sustainable productivity leaps. And there isn't a bigger opportunity than this. Something that is 20% of household cost, where 76% of the value lies on an asset that is used about 4% of the time. Let's do sustainability. I come from Europe, where EU Commission says that even with all the electrification and everything, we are facing from 25% by 2030. Transport-related emissions are 40% of everything. We cannot justify this anymore. We know in mega cities like Mexico City, also congestion and everything is just, we cannot live up to the car ratio being similar than in some other parts. Now, we've done a study in quite a number of bigger cities, and apparently there's 38% of population in inner cities that are actually looking for a solution for their car ownership, but they're extremely underserved because nobody else promises them freedom of anywhere, anytime on a whim. So just in Europe alone today, we have 70 million cars that are waiting to get off the roads. Now, if you're wondering how to make money out of this and how to combine it with sustainability, I will reveal to you all the dirty secrets of mobility as a service and how to make money out of it. It's simple. Netflix type of subscription with all inclusive inside. You sell it, and if you paint the idea that, hey, give me as much money as the car, then I'm fixed with the income, but that's quite a lot. Then the second thing is I have to do all the trips for you during the month, which means that every time, from what I calculated, a taxi ride or a car ride, I put you on a bike or walking, it lowers my production costs. So I can actually make humongous profits out of sustainable choices. It sounds impossible, but it's already been done and people actually do like it. Now, the next thing is why isn't it here yet? I remember some while ago I was in Los Angeles and was talking in a shared Uber in the backseat with a waiter slash actor about what I do. And I said, it's a bit like a Netflix of transportation. So all your rides with the fixed monthly rate and you use as much as you want. The thing is that I know how many trips on average people are going to do. So the question he asked was the same that I get everywhere around the world. People in the industry, they go, oh, this is so hard. This is so hard. But the people actually asked only one question. This is really simple. Of course, this is exactly how it should be. I want an operator for my total mobility. And then he asked, this isn't rocket science. Why isn't it here yet? And this is where it gets a bit tricky. The whole industry has kind of logics around being in their own silos, doing everything on their own. Now, the dream of accessing everything, not even Uber, which is one of the biggest ones, but nobody has enough capacity alone. So we'll have to come up with ways of how the ecosystem functions in a way that the dream for people, accessing everything from one-stop shop, not worrying about payments at all, can be done on a competitive landscape. And this means a bit of ecosystem works. Now, I know a lot of people there. If we would be having cocktails after this, many would be saying that, yeah, maybe this works in Nordic countries where this and this is, but we Mexicans, we love to own our cars. Trust me, I get that every single place I go to. And then over cocktails, I'm allowed to say this because I'm a 40 plus guy. So it's a 40 plus man who says that, no, it doesn't function here. We love to own our cars. In reality, that's not really true. The young ones actually would like to get rid of it. And strangely enough, I'm a transport engineer, and it seems that already by now, 24% of people have been replacing their cars or avoiding buying a car through this kind of solution, which to me is actually quite amazing. Now, what does this lead to? If we think about it, the car has been defining our cities and the urban development since somebody came up with something called Futurama in '39 in New York in World Exhibition. It's been all about just building more roads and freeways and all this. Now, the future cities, if the demand and how people consume their transportation changes, it will definitely change how the cities look like. Instead of having corridor policies like this is actually Santiago de Chile. Sorry, it's pretty similar. Like every city in the world is ring roads and so on. They will be based on hubs instead of corridors, and this takes quite a lot of change. So we're foreseeing quite a big change that is happening. And I challenge everyone on it, because the reality is that this is a change that no one can do alone. Now, I'd like to end it with a quote, because I know many will say, well, maybe this is 10 or 15 or I get to be out of this system before these changes happen. It's not actually so true, because even the 40 plus men can change. We just got this App Store recognition, 5 stars, where somebody says, hey guys, I've been driving a Beamer for 40 years and gave it up, tried the WIM application, and it's already exceeded everything. So if there's hope for change for 40 plus men, there's hope for change for the rest of the world as well. Thank you, and let's go to discussing this.